I know. I believe it. I totally believe it. So there is one thing I want to, I don't know if you had a chance. I listened to the whole thing. At the beginning of Deanne's show, you said you had something important to say. And at the beginning, and you said, well, we'll wait until the more people are in the room. And anyway, do you remember what that was?
Hold on, one second. Sorry.
No problem.
Your Deb thing isn't showing on my live. I thought I added you. Sorry.
Well, do you need to add me to stream to yours?
I thought I did, but it's not showing on YouTube. Hold on. Let me try again. Okay. One second.
Hold on, everybody. You know what I'm going to do? That's right. I'm going to do an experiment while I'm going to set you aside here. I'm going to do an experiment with everyone. You see the background I have for Halloween. I always call Valentine's Day Halloween. I don't know why. So I'm going to let you look at this moving picture of hearts for a few seconds, and then I'm going to come back on, and it'll reveal something about. So here. Okay. How many people saw hearts moving? Those people believe in the idealistic idea of Valentine's Day, in true love, the romantic comedy kind of love. Now, how many of you saw a boot, like a snow boot? Here, let me show you. Those of you who see boots have a more down-to-earth idea of love. That was my little experiment. Oh, Connie B says she saw boots. Anybody else? Did anybody see a boot? Yeah, that's the first thing I did. I was concentrating on this background, wondering what I was going to say and all that stuff. And I was watching it roll, and I said, all I see are snow boots, not hearts. Oh, no.
I don't see no boots at all.
You don't see boots at all? God bless you. God bless you. So did you get everything streamed?
Yep, sure do.
Great.
I saw a putty cat.
You saw what?
A putty cat.
And that's love. That's love for sure. Blessed 111 boots. No, hearts. Margaret, hearts. Good. Now you've all passed the test. You can go along your day knowing that you have love in your boots, love in hearts. So what the topic you had with Deanne was quite nice. The one about the near death and theories about life and things like that. And that's a
significant subject, and I really enjoy like these new shows on Netflix. It's fascinating. It's fascinating. Like this intern started at a hospital, and he was talking about he got a second-year intern. I know everything there is about interns. I used to raise them when they were puppies. And he said this intern promised he would be there for him no matter what. His first patient, he goes in the room and the patient coded. So he starts CPR and he's calling the code, and the guy rallies. He comes around. He goes out to talk to the wife, and he tells the wife, I don't know, man, it's not looking good. He goes back in the room. He's doing all his notes. He's keeping a close eye on him, titrating him with the drugs, etc. And then he said the lunch came in for the guy, and he knew the guy wasn't going to eat his lunch because he was semi-comatose, in and out. So he said, well, I'll go ahead and eat his lunch. So he ate his lunch. And later, like the day after or something, he sees the patient. The guy says, "Doc, can I talk to you real quick?" He said, "Sure." He says, "First of all, I saw you go out and tell my wife it didn't look good, and I didn't appreciate you saying that.
Oh my.
And I know you were disappointed that I hear a feedback. Do you hear that?
There's a little feedback, but StreamYard has had that problem.
Oh, okay.
So I think they're going to fix it. But
so he said, I know you were upset with that, the second year resident not coming in and helping you. I mean, how did he know that? And this guy didn't even say it out loud. He said it in his mind. And he says, and also, I saw you ate my lunch.
Oh my God, really?
All of that from a man who was, died and then just barely was alive. It was amazing.
I love that story because I've had a few near death, or I say death experiencers. It's not like near death. You actually died. And the first one that I had on was John Davis. And he said, all of them were amazing, but John Davis said something that disturbed me. I just loved his innocence about near death. He said on one of the channels, he asked the person, the host, saying, do you know what spirit guides are? I mean, he didn't know the jargon when he died. He didn't know the metaphysics. He didn't have spiritual, he was young. And he came back, on my show, he said, that's why we don't feel God's love here on earth. And that kind of disturbed me. And he says, no, that's why we need faith. And that's why God breathes his love into the earth, the animals, this and that. And I didn't know if I could reconcile that, but I know that I go in and out of faith. Well, then Tolman came on, Vincent Tolman. This guy was dead for an hour in a body bag. Linda.
Yeah, I love that story.
He was gone. And I said, I had John Davis on. He said, we don't get to feel God's love. And he goes, oh, no, you don't. We don't here on earth. If we were to get one drop of God's love, we would not have free choice anymore. Everything would be so clear. And so he doesn't want to take our free choice away from us. This is what was offered me, and it was a new way of thinking about things. That's why I waver, and that's why shows like this and all of those are. That's why we need people who have had these experiences to tell us,
right?
And people like you who go through each and every step. You are. When I was working, I didn't know if I was going to say this, but when I was working hospice, I had a client named Norma, and she was a cool old lady. She was in hospice in a residential home. I'd see her every week, and she described that when she was younger, they both were professors in Hawaii, growing their own food on the land, swimming naked in the ocean every day and every evening. And me being who I am, I said, oh, being in the ocean like that must have made you feel really close to God. And she goes, there is no God. And I didn't know, I did not know what to say. She appreciated nature and everything, obviously, but she was absolutely an atheist. So as time went on and her body started failing, she had a DNR, do not resuscitate. So the minute she felt her body giving into the next step, she'd freak out really bad and insist that someone drive her to the emergency room. The doctors aren't going to see it, right? When you have a DNR, they're not going to see you. So she waited in the waiting room all this time, afraid to death. Anyway, I went and she goes, how do you know? How do you know there's God and life after death? And I said, it's really hard to tell because I've had my own little experiences, but think of it this way. I cannot, for the life of me, explain Einstein's theory of relativity, but I know it's there. It's been tested. It's been proven. And we base all of our scientists base all of their actions through the filter of that. I just did that with God. And I add Jesus in there, I'm Buddha, everybody else. And but you had mentioned on the last show that you felt atheists had it good. I think they do, because they're a clean slate. Yeah, but I think they have it hard near the end, actually.
Yeah, like my dad, who was an atheist, asked both my parents were atheists, but this, what do you call, the ones at the VA hospital, and you go for them for spiritual support. He asked her opinion about God, which was very unusual because he was bah humbug. But can I say something real quick? I don't agree with the guy that said if you were with God or see God, you wouldn't have free choice.
No, maybe I misunderstood. I misspoke.
Because we all, as Christ said, we all have the spark of the God within us, and you can live on this earth connected to the realm.
Right, absolutely.
Be high as a kite most of the time. Eckhart Tolle, as far as I'm concerned, sort of lives that way. Yeah. Where he doesn't worry about the past or the future, where he just stands in the now. That's how God wants us to live. Have faith and don't live in anxiousness, because all of us can get so anxious. And but I do think, you have the choice of how you want to live on earth. If you want to live in fear and powerlessness, but it's all a journey, and the closer we get to the realm, the better it is.
The thing is that we learn how to live our lives and define our souls in this expression through relationships, and through the struggle. We learn so much through the struggle. If we had God's that love available in reality, we would not go into struggle. Yeah, that's what I meant about not having free choice.
And our struggling, and some people have physical struggles.
Yeah,
and in that journey, we energetically connect to the realm. But I will tell you, in my pathetic life, and how I see how overwhelmed I was with myself and ego-based, in my life right now, I have never been happier. And it's a shame because I wish I could have felt that back then,
I was thinking also, if I knew how cool life could be, I wouldn't have spent all those days thinking about, doing away with myself or I was so sad.
And they're the ones that told me to start the YouTube channel. I didn't want nothing to do with YouTube. They said, you're going to start I said, what? And then they told me I would help calm others. That's why I did it, because I'm a Virgo and we like to help others. And then when they told me to write that book, which comes out in a few weeks, I'm not a writer, but you know what? I found out if I listen to them and do what they say, it always works out. And even if only 3 or 4 copies of that book sells, but it helps somebody, I've done my purpose.
You are so beloved on this channel. The timing was just right, because you're divinely driven, and to help so many people. Your book is going to be a bestseller overnight, I'm sure.
I don't know.
Pre-selling it? Are you on? It's on Amazon.
Yeah, somebody wrote me about marketing for the book, and I didn't mean to be rude, but I'm not marketing. I'm not doing nothing. I'm just doing what they told me. Just like with this channel, I had no clue what I was doing. I just did what they said. I sat in front of the TV and I waited for the download.
Love it. Oh, that's so inspiring. I can't wait for the book. That's for sure. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
So great. So now that we've, thanks for letting me share a little bit about what I have learned because I'm always thrilled, because that saying 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon.
Yeah.
That means that I'm, through you and my other guests, I'm 2 degrees of Jesus?
Oh, wonderful.
It's what I'm thinking. So I'm just really excited about that whole topic.
And I've been using your cards, girlfriend. Everybody loves your cards.
I know. Thank you so much. I'm really.
Have your sales gone up?
I'm sure. Red Feather doesn't tell me, but I haven't gotten any royalty. I mean, think I got royalties of $84 for 6 months. You know, but that was before you blessed me with that.
People write me all the time.
It.
What are those cards you're using? What are those cards? You know, and I don't read cards like others. Like I say, professional readers don't look at me, because I go by the picture and what it says to me. And then your little comment on there, actually, sometimes the comment makes sense to me. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes I go off in a different realm.
That's exactly why I did it, because when, excuse me, when people are busy, you know, doing readings, because sometimes one call after another type of thing, and you become tired, or in the middle of a show, you kind of lose track.
Yeah.
Then you can, there's a trigger on the card somewhere that'll get you back into the room of knowing really quick. So
yeah,
the longer you use them, the more that will keep
what
you
gave you the you know, why did you think of this? What I never would do a tarot deck.
You know, it's a funny story. Thank you for asking. Kate Matthews is the artist of that. And she came to one of my tarot classes, and I'd known her. She's an she had an art gallery. And I said, Kate, I didn't know you wanted to learn tarot. She goes, well, I don't really, but I'm interested in doing a deck. And I said, well, I'm interested in writing a deck, and because I have new ways of seeing things since I work so many readings. So it was amazing. I was surprised I was so disciplined, but it was in my 3 personal year. She would do 1 to 2 cards design. She'd know the meaning of the card. 1 to 2 drawings a week. There's 78 cards in a deck, right? And then I was doing the writing, what I've learned from that card. And she went into looking at all the symbolisms. So if you need flowers, if flower is your way into the room of knowing, if astrology symbols, I wanted a yes, no. The yes, no is important to do 5 cards down, because there's a little Y or N on it. 5 cards down, because if you have 5 cards down with a yes or no, it will tell you why it's yes or why it's no. So it doesn't, you know, it's not an absolute, like when you pull 1 card, it says no. It doesn't tell you enough of the story why it's no. So we just grew in that. And by the end of the year, we had a deck, but we didn't know what to do with it. Sort of sat. And so she says, I'm going to send it to publishers. And I thought, no. Oh yeah, I'm sure. I did not have faith in that, but it got picked up by Red Feather. So it's not. Now Kate is writing a book. It's a flower earth book for I think that's an oracle deck. And my new book about tarot is coming out at the end of the year.
Cool.
But lots of stuff. Thanks for doing that. Thanks for the
one book I bought on tarot reading was Eileen Donnelly. Okay. Have you heard of her? She was from years ago. She did Eileen Donnelly. And she used to do poems with each card. And if you memorize the poem, it kind of reminded you what the card meant.
Oh, that's a sweet way to do it.
Yeah.
I tend to have bumper stickers. I have a bumper sticker for every situation. And so it's like that, bravo, always remember this and never give up. But
now you do numerology, right, Deb?
I do numerology. Mm-hmm.
And what is this year for all of us? What is the number for the year?
It's an 8 universal year. So if I can move back into politics a little bit, because it's easier to look at something and someone doing things wrong with a number than trying to assess yourself as you're learning. So the 8 universal year is all about bringing whatever you decided to go with last year and put it into tangible things this year. This year we're going to have a little more separation. It'll go back to that Democrat, Republican, take your corners kind of thing. But if you have a theory from the 7 personal year, you put it into action in the 8 personal year to bring it to fruition, then like a bill or a law or something like that, write a letter to a congressman. If that idea is sound and for the masses, it will take off. It'll anchor and it will gain traction. If that bill is to harm, or if it's just for you type of thing, or that theory is just for you, then it's going to crumble and fall apart. So this is where we get to see the real thing. And I know that people are upset about our success for democracy is not a straight line. It's just not going to be a straight line. They're going to be back and forths of everything. But keep in mind that Aquarian is all about democracy. It's all about humanitarianism. If you have to back up far enough just to remember that, when you feel despair, that will do. But people are going to act kind of crazy, and I think maybe 2025 we're going to feel more, but we're just going to move in it just fine.
Yeah, I feel 25 and 26 getting a little calmer, but I got to tell you something.
Mm-hmm.
I may be totally wrong, but I trust my guides.
Mm-hmm.
They tend to be pretty dead on. And every time I turn on the news, including my old show, MSNBC, I'm sick and tired about them saying Biden is way behind. He's the lowest ever. It almost feels like fear-based, like they want you to be fearful. Because my guides have told me, Linda, there's more good than bad.
Yes.
And they also said you'll be surprised how bad he I don't even know if he's going to get up to be able to be in it. But I almost feel such a loss with him. It's like, how could we have doubted? We lose faith in the people of the United States when we see these cray-crays talking, like that one guy is trying to bring up a bill in Arkansas that rape or incest or any kind of reason that you got pregnant, you cannot have an abortion, period. A lady wrote something that her daughter just had a baby in Texas, and she was so glad that she had a normal delivery because God forbid something happened and she wouldn't have got the appropriate help she needed. And I just know ever since that Roe versus Wade happened, it feels like they awoke the sleeping giant.
That's right.
And
exactly.
the women that are going to come out, and our youth are going to come out. A lot of that stuff with, I'm not going to vote for Biden because, he's pro the slaughtering of Palestinian. He's not. He's not. He's not in charge of Israel. But I'm not going to get into that. I just want to say that the good is going to outweigh the bad. And we will be surprised because, Biden didn't have to run. He really didn't. He's 80 years old. He's got enough money. He didn't need to run, but he was afraid for this nation. That's why I see angelic forms around him, because he's doing his job. I'm 70 now. I'm tired. But the guys still want me to do the work. So I'll continue the work to help others calm themselves down. But just know there's more good than bad.
Love that. Love that. And don't be surprised because we've seen the Republican Party fracture. It's kind of split in two. And the next step, this is my prediction, that the Democratic Party is going to fracture and shift as well. I don't know what form that'll take. I think some are struggling with Biden's age, and we need younger and this and that, because that's the push of the Aquarian age. It's like, let's just blow the place up and put in who we want.
Well, I saw the Democrats fracturing after we win again. When we win again, and we're going to win pretty good, we'll get a little bit full of ourselves. And you have to watch yourself, because Republicans, they're just in constant turmoil. And the guides told me 5 or 6 years ago, we're watching the end of the Republicans. They're going to have to rebuild from the bottom up.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, Biden is old, but what's your other choice? Like when AOC was talking about, well, we really don't know about Biden because I said, okay, now, so what? You want Trump to win? What's your other choice?
Yeah. That's what I mean about these little detours. And I'm with you on MSNBC. I turned on CNN and got more information.
I know. I couldn't believe it. I turned on CNN the other day.
Yeah. See, and they also have that ticker at the bottom for regular news, like you can kind of catch up quickly. But I am taking a break from, even though I don't like the political guy, head of the political stuff. He's an oddball, but nonetheless, they had someone on today that I forget his name, should have written it down, that said, look, Democrats are misunderstanding how good we are doing, and don't put a whole lot into the polls because it's this and that and all wrinkled up. It's just too early. And the only thing people are saying, well, they're softening up with Nikki Haley. And I said, no, the second sentence out of her mouth was, I will pardon Trump.
Yeah.
I'm running for president and I will pardon Trump. So, okay, no.
Well, she'll say what needs to be said so she can get in there, but she's not getting in there.
No.
And nobody's talking, like I said on Deanne's show, nobody's talking about the fact that President Biden won by so many votes in Nevada and he beat Trump out by a landslide. Why isn't people talking about that? And they said that Obama was way back in the polls. He was going to lose.
Right. This early in the game, you can't do anything because like somebody was really, I think I was talking to you about RFK Jr. He had him like winning if there was, and I said, well, whoever's on top now is going to be on the bottom later or out of the game. Yeah. Because you just can't keep that momentum.
Is he still doing it? RFK?
No. Everybody's he might be flirting with the no names label, with Lieberman being the head of that. Boy, that's weird. Democrats that say they're Democrats, like Manchin and Sinema. I had to giggle about Sinema. Did you see her reprimanding her fellow Republicans? And she's a Democrat or a neutral or something.
She's an independent now.
She's just disgusted with everything. And I thought, welcome to our world, Sinema. You have held up some of the nicest stuff in Congress because of your selfishness. She's an 8 life path. So it's
she's losing this time, by the way. Deb, what's the name of your channel? People are asking what the name of your channel is.
It's at Grow Your Light with Deborah Zakoff. Just at Grow Your Light, one word, all spelled out. And then I add with Deborah and you'll get my channel. Thank you so much.
Sure.
Appreciate that.
I saw somebody say, what's her channel? And I thought, I don't know what her channel.
I'm glad you were watching. Oh, there it is, Sharon. Okay, yes. Love that. Sharon's site is one of my moderators. So I finally got one of those. So what's your hit on the politics?
Oh, somebody said there's 63 in the channel, and there. This one says 903.
I have 998.
Oh, it's probably from my channel, 903. Okay, what's my hit on who?
Anybody? What's your political? I mean, it's been a big week. What's your guide say?
When I said I had something to say that's important, that we totally forgot. It was so important we forgot it. I just wanted to assure people that the good is going to outweigh the bad. That's for sure. And I'll tell you, there's going to be more ET stuff coming up in the next 2 years.
Yep. You have an ET that you talk to.
Yeah, I saw him as clear as day. He's very kind. And he said, we've always been here, but we ain't tripping. And he was smoking some doob or something. I don't know what he was smoking. I'm just kidding. And he said, I guess they're everywhere. They're underground. They're everywhere. Yeah. But he said, they can't interrupt with free will. They have to allow us to make our own choices, except nuclears. They have permission to prevent nuclear. So even if Putin decides he's going to ship some missiles off to do something, they'll stop it. Because you should see the UFOs that are flying around the Ukraine and the Middle East. They're everywhere.
Yay, yay. That's awesome. That is awesome. Yeah, I believe in UFOs. I had a friend who was on sunbathing on a rooftop. And she was
about what state?
California. So it was up by the ocean. And she was on a rooftop and she was meditating and feeling really good in the sun. You know how you get that euphoria? And it popped in her mind about UFOs. And she heard, "We are here." And she says, "Okay." And then she said, "I want to see you." And they said, "Are you sure?" She goes, "Yes." Yeah. And she opened her eyes and there is a huge ship right over her.
Like huge, like
huge, like close, like projection or hologram or whatever they did. It really delighted her.
Did she get taken or did she just talk to them?
No, she was just talking, asking questions, but she got so overwhelmed. She can't remember what she asked. She doesn't remember what she heard. It was just the experience. So I believe if you would like to have an experience, you would be able to talk with them.
Wow.
I think they hear you.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, it's really fun. Really.
Somebody asked if my phone was on mute, and it is. So it's not.
Is there something going on?
Causing that feedback.
That's so frustrating. It sometimes is your it's from Linda's site. Sometimes your speaker is too close to your mic, but you haven't moved any of that, right?
I'm going to turn my phone off. Let's see what happens.
Okay.
No, I was just on with Deanna and we didn't have any feedback. The same exact setup.
Well, leave it to me because the very first time I was on your show, it was like, oh, I'm going to be a movie star with a movie star. And then my mic went out.
Oh, I remember that. I remember that.
Could not get it back on. I couldn't use another mic. I thought, oh gosh, I'll retreat. But it was fun. So I have a little something.
What?
Okay, so you know how people are saying, well, it's true. The Republicans are doing terrible things about the border, sabotaging our immigration problem with that bill. And I heard on a show that they thought that Biden was going to do something behind the scenes with the president of Mexico to try and get them to help with the border problem. And my hit is that he's going to try but not get anywhere because Andre Obrador, anyway, that's the president of Mexico, and Jared Kushner has already gotten to him.
Whoa.
You heard it here. So right after Jared, I watched him from the Saudis and got all that money, or at least control of a bunch of money. I started following him. And he was dotting himself all over the world. He would go to these foreign countries. Remember, one of which was Mexico. And so I looked into that, and I also learned that the Mexican president doesn't have a lot of reason to do well because their terms are 6 years only, and you can never hold office again. So doing well is why people want to do well in America is to get reelected. There is no reelection. So that's why, it's a bit corrupted.
Yeah.
And I do believe that on the face, he will say Mexican president will the Mexican president is going to say, sure, we'll help you, but I don't think anything's going to happen. So But this is for entertainment purposes only and extra snide remarks. Remember that? Now that I've just
I just know it's except for the Fox News people, it's very obvious that Trump doesn't want to help us. He's trying to use this as I can save you, and people can smell him coming a mile away.
Mm-hmm. Right. How do you feel about Kagan and her?
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
He just told Jack Smith he has to give Trump all those records, and they're afraid about that. Wait, Kagan. I'm sorry. I'm thinking of the Florida judge.
Oh, okay. Well, let's go there.
She just told Jack Smith he has to give all those top secret records to Trump's attorneys. And Jack Smith is going through the roof. He's saying you can't trust them with anything.
Right.
And it reveals 12 of the people are going to testify against Trump.
I wonder if Jack is going to win on that. Have you tested it?
Well, I feel like he's going to go to the 11th Circuit.
Yes, and it'll die there.
It'll die there.
It'll die there.
But it does kind of pull things back. She's messing with, I've always saw her being taken out. She's an idiot.
Good. I'm glad you see it.
I'm going to be on with Andre tonight.
Mm-hmm. What time?
We'll be sure to ask him. I'll write him after we get done and tell him, look up Eileen. But look at the card. Yeah. But look at the outcome.
Oh, good.
So, yeah, it's going to it might put this on hold a little bit more. I'll tell you, Jack Smith's going to win that January 6th thing. He's going to win.
Oh, I hope so. Oh, my God. Well, you know, us being so forgiving, we have a forgiving, America is pretty forgiving. You know, we're comfortable. We don't, and we'll say, okay, we'll forgive you and stuff like that. But I think our judicial system has gone totally soft.
Yeah.
And it's taken way too long to get business done. But if you or I or someone else's traffic problem, we are hooked into what we need to do, and it has to all be in a timely manner. But
thank you, Sharon. Yeah.
So anyway, that's, whoops, I forgot to go back to the comments. Anybody else have an idea? Oh, thank you, Sharon. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Look at that little sweetheart.
Cute little pumpkin.
That little guy. Oh, I love that. Thank you so much for that. It's too bad he has to do all of that, but it is so good that we have him at the reins. Now, he's a 9-life path, which means he's a very old soul, and he has that legacy instinct, like Jamie Raskin is devoted. He's a 7. He's devoted to the Constitution, and he's articulate, and he's really focused on that. Same thing with Jack Smith. It's that legacy stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, so here we have another. Lisa Foster said, don't forget to be added to Linda's next prayer list. Email Linda email her and type prayers at the subject line. And I'm going to put your email in the show notes after this show. Thank you for the reminder, Lisa. When are you going to be doing that?
Probably next Tuesday. I do it every couple of weeks. I do prayers.
Merit.
Thank you, Merit.
Thank you so much. So sweet, dear.
I was watching this show about evil.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a cute little dog, like on the one there, the little white fluffy dog. And this woman had a dog. And she thought her boyfriend stole the dog. He was like harassing her. And she found the dog dead across the street. It was a cute little dog. She could have swore it was him. She was getting a restraining order and stuff. Anyway, long story short, she used to work for an escort service and had been with this really rich guy. And I think the boyfriend found out and was trying to say, pay me $50,000 and I won't let people know. So what happened is his buddies all got together and they murdered the two of them, the girl and the guy. And somebody was on the show towards the end and saying, well, you know, he had the boyfriend. he had his thing, but he really didn't deserve to die. I said, yeah, he did. He murdered that little dog. To me, that's better than anything.
I know what you mean. Don't touch my animals.
I can't watch shows where animals get hurt. I can't.
I never go into a movie that has animals in it because you know the cat's going to get it. You know, it's a shame. But I got to tell you, it's amazing how people think and what people do. I've gotten quite the education online when I work online to the different types of things that paralyze people into thinking a certain way and then hurt other people for that. Okay.
What were you saying about Kagan? What was that statement?
Yeah, I'm curious because there's Kagan was the one that during the Supreme Court analysis or whatever that's called, she said, why have one state choose the president of the United States? And everybody that I've talked to that are
constitutionalists
felt betrayed by her. What do you feel about her?
Yeah, that's not what that was about.
Tell me.
I mean, Congress, SCOTUS is always saying states have rights to do. If they don't want abortion, they can say no abortion. They have the right to choose what they want.
Mm-hmm.
They act like they're disenfranchising him. This guy could care less if he disenfranchised 80 million voters.
Right.
So
right.
I just will tell you that they are going to say no, and Colorado will put him back on the ballot, or maybe not. Maybe they'll forget. But I will tell you this, they're not going to give him immunity.
No, right.
He's not going to get immunity. That's really going to kill him right there.
That's right, because granting him immunity would mean Biden can stay in office forever.
Yeah.
So, and also, if we allow states to take people off the ballots. Now, don't get mad at me for this, but I don't trust Republicans to not do something. The Trump termites are all digging in and chewing up democracy, and so they're in different offices. There's so many. If one of MAGA got into Secretary of State that decides all this, that one office, then they can just abuse that,
Yeah, and start taking down Democrats for like they were trying to do Biden. Then they got so mad, by God, we couldn't do Hunter. They can't do Hunter. They can't do Biden. So they picked up poor DHS secretary, and they lost.
Yes, but we knew they were going to lose because it's just painfully obvious. And all of those little losses, they couldn't win in 20, they couldn't win in 22, 24, and they've lost all the other things, plus that. And you just have to remember all of those losses.
They don't get it that thanks to Trump, they've lost everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But the people the Republicans that didn't like that, but didn't speak up, they're just, I don't envy them.
Right.
All because they wanted to keep their job, and this is not going to happen.
Well, thanks to no immunity, Jack Smith is going to do January 6th, and it will be in a court of law, proven beyond a reasonable doubt that Trump was, in fact, an insurrectionist.
Right. What? Do you have a timing?
Well, I usually can't go longer than an hour because I start my back.
Oh, no. I'm timing on Jack Smith.
Oh, I thought you were talking about a timing for the reading.
I'm looking at the time. I know that you're very popular.
Timing for Jack Smith win this. Oh, I don't get timings, but I can tell you it's going to happen. I just don't get timings.
I'm going to try timing just a second. So it'd be a 1.
Did you ever look at, thank you, Carol.
Thank you, Carol.
Did you ever look at Justice Thomas? Is his number like getting ready to go?
You know, I got to tell you, he and his wife, Clarence Thomas and Ginny Thomas, are in alignment with their numbers. They are here to create for the masses. Life doesn't care what you create, it's that you create. But he is heading for a really bad, slow year. And Jenny is going to try and take control of everything. Remember, she was a little quiet last year, right? That's her 5 personal year. 5 personal year made her set back. And what 5 does is life will synchronize an atmosphere or situation that you adapt to. And a lot of people don't like that, but they adapt to it. And that's what happened watching her husband in that position. Same with Don Jr. He was in the same 5 personal year. So he had to just kind of watch what daddy's doing.
Yeah. Thank you, Willa.
Thank you. But anyway, right. So
when are they coming up to a rough time? 25 or 24?
The rough time for Jenny was last year. And this year is going to be hard because she can't make anything move in her direction. All eyes are on her. And Clarence Thomas is going to have a hard time this year because it's all about I believe he's a 1 personal year, meaning that he has to do things differently or else, I mean, he literally has to change or else down.
Well, you know, the IRS is knocking on his door. He's going to get hit by the IRS.
I like that. You know what's nice about technology is that corruption is transparent. We literally saw an insurrection on TV live and in color. We are actually seeing Clarence Thomas tout around town in his new whatever buggy that he's driving around in that he got for free. And it's like, you know, we can hear you, you know, we can see you. And so it's just having our norms, you know, what do they call it when they have the bumpers on democracy kind of thing?
Yeah.
Well, our bumpers are not holding, but there are some that are still there. And I think it's going to be really, really interesting to watch everything go down.
Now, you were going to read on something I wanted to know.
Okay, what do you want to know?
You were reading on something before I interrupted you.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Jack Smith's timing looks like 2 full months. So how I do timing, and I do 1 month increments. So I would do timing as I throw 10 cards. If the 10th card is not a major card, keep flipping cards down until I get a major. And that's going in each representing 30 days. So the rest of this month into next, and then the next. So it would be February, middle of March, middle of April, May, I think. And I think that's when a lot of people are going to, a lot of things are going to move forward.
That's when Andre went planetary. A lot of stuff is going down in April and May. Well,
to make sure we keep our peace, remember we are observers and not victims. So if you see something that's really disturbing, go into your observing. Oh, that's interesting. And when we see the downfall, I think Noel Kostler said it this way. If one of those cheeseburgers stops his cold black heart, of course, we're going to be dancing in the streets for a couple of days, but really just be sad that it had to come to this. Where imagine someone dying because you hear and see everything going on as you said. So
yeah, Jack Smith, after all this is done, especially January 6th, that's when he hits up Marjorie Taylor Greene, Jim Jordan, Justice Thomas, Ginny Thomas for insurrectionists.
Really?
He didn't put him on the list this time because he wants to just deal with Trump to make it go like this. Then when he's done with Trump, they're all getting in line. And they that's why they want Trump to win.
That's right. Oh my gosh, because just this week has been amazing. Wasn't it Matt Gate that came on and said something? So something about immunity or whatever, so they don't get arrested. That's right. It's getting close to that, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's getting close to that.
We should tell him, why don't you go to President Biden and ask him for immunity?
Yeah.
He'll laugh you out the room.
Or support Nikki Haley, because I'm sure she'll do something. She's a chameleon. She's a 22 life path, meaning she's the master builder. She's her best when she's building something, community, consensus, a doghouse, a business. She's that way. And to have her be so much in front of the camera is unusual for a 22 life path. But you have to remember, whatever she says, she means. She absolutely means. She's so she said once that she'd pardon him. Understand, that's what she means.
She will pardon him?
Yeah. She's going to pardon Trump as soon as she's in, because she wants to bring
I'm not even worried about it.
She wants to bring the country together. Yeah.
No, she's not getting in.
Right. Vicky says, yes. Now karma is, oh, look at Kitty. Karma is catching up fast, and just hang on and make sure that you just stay at peace. Listen to Linda, listen to the channels that have positive things to say, and to remind you that we are the majority, and we're not silent.
Real quick, I want to ask, what about Putin's numbers?
So Putin is a 7 life path. He's moving into a time where he has to change as well. A lot of the major leaders, including America and China and Russia, I believe, are in a 1 personal year, meaning to succeed, they need to do some, change cars. Basically, they have to do something different. As you know, with Putin, he's drug into a 1 personal year, the fighting, and then the whatever negotiating he's doing with Iran, Iraq, and all of that stuff. So that's going to backfire on him. I'm going to see where that's going to take him, though, because when people were saying he was dead, I didn't feel he was dead.
Oh, Putin?
Mm-hmm. Did you feel he was dead?
Sometimes they put out fake news too.
No, you didn't do that. I don't know who it was.
Oh, no, but you know what? He is going to die. I'm going to tell you. I see him running.
Yeah. I'm trying to do it.
What's going to happen with Putin? What's going to happen with Putin?
Okay, so I'm getting a big change, and I do believe you're right as far as it happening in service, being quick. But I have later on in the year, it will be past the eclipse. Isn't the eclipse? Oh, wait, around the eclipse, I think.
April?
No, the other one. Isn't there 2? October? Something like that. So.
Well, he's definitely worried about money. He's running out of money too, by the way.
Yeah.
But look at him having to walk away.
I hope he does, because, he isn't going to stop with Ukraine. He wants the borders of Russia to go back to what the USSR was all about. He hated, Gorbachev? He just hated Gorbachev for what he did by moving into the new way of living life. So back he comes. But I do have the reverse chariot. So at the end, I see good, financing something. In other words, it's doing his work well, gaining something prior to his problems. And then the four of wands reversed and the chariot reversed right around April, May. So Well, that's just what it is.
I'm telling you, I can't wait for the spring. We're going to get ready to do some business.
I know. Hang on.
Some psychics were saying World War III this year. I do not pick up World War III. One very famous psychic said World War III in February, and no, I don't see it.
No. Well, it's not, it can't be. So it can't be. We have a concept of war, bayonets and stuff for the Second World War. We've got machine guns and this one. We have an idea of what war is, and we can't go back to that. That's what the whole thing about the new earth. So when someone sees World War III or whatever,
that's the end of times. If there's a World War III, it's the end of times.
But it's not going to be in a traditional manner. What it is I think there's going to be challenges with AI only because disinformation and things, and there's already, I'm not kidding you, there's already a program free to use to run anything you get through this AI tracker to see how much of it is AI. So, and it's amazing. It's used a lot.
Yeah.
In fact, those who are publishing on Amazon, they use it. They run their KDP program through AI. So, but that's the kind of.
I don't get what you just said. If you're publishing through Amazon,
So there's a way to
make sure that the book was really written by somebody, or
yes. So this is what I studied up, because both of the things I've published have been through publishers, so I didn't really know what was going on. But I have another idea for a book. So I've been studying KDP, which is the platform you go through to upload your book, ebook, whatever, audiobook through to put it on Amazon. And so there is something installed now, I don't know how sophisticated it is, which will run your work through this to see if it was generated with AI. So those of you thinking that are authors, I know Allie was really upset about AI, but understand that they're already putting, the bump cars on that, because you can still write your work, and publish it, and know that people will know. In my last book, I was saying, this book was not created with AI, and I wrote not one word.
Yeah.
But I'm excited that it came so soon. So maybe we won't have to.
Yeah, I don't know how to use AI. I just had to write the book.
Yeah, you just wrote. Did you do longhand or on the computer?
On the typewriter.
Yeah. That's good. It takes a lot of work, and I'm glad you did it, because it's going to benefit a lot of people. We're coming down to the end of our time, and I wanted to look here to see. Okay, AI Trump voice on YouTube trying to bribe voters to write. So he has developed things that with a Biden voice too, saying don't vote this time. Oh, thank you. Hey there. Hey everyone. Kevin Loving Vibrations is here.
And did that too. They were able to find them. Yeah,
they did. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing? So Kevin, you're here. Kevin Loving Vibrations. Please go and subscribe there. Subscribe here. Subscribe it. Linda's, and I saw Illumination Portal here as well. So please do all those good things for them too. It has been such a pleasure.
Thank you, girlfriend.
It's been fun to talk about on a bigger range of things.
Yeah.
I really appreciate it. And I'll keep in touch, and I'll send you my new book when it comes out.
I love it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
You.
Okay, everyone, you take it easy.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.